Hello student, good morning all of you. I hope you all are fine. I NEERAJ KHARE as a biology teacher of class 10th. So dear student, today we start chapter 15, our environment, the third part. So dear student, today the topic is climatic factors, food chain, tropic level and flow open energy. So let me start for the part third. Today's topic is first one is climatic factors. So dear students, climatic factors, these are sunlight, temperature, pressure, humidity, moisture, rainfall, etc. These factors affect the distributions of the organisms. So climatic factors, these are the sunlight, temperature, humidity, moisturization, rainfall, etc. These are the factors affect the distribution of the organism. So function of an ecosystem. Function of an ecosystem. The ecosystem indicate the available solar energy and the efficiency of an ecosystem to trap the same. Ecosystem indicates the available solar energy and is the efficiency of an the ecosystem to trap the same. It gives the information about the available initial minerals and their recycling periods. It gives information about the available initial minerals and their recycling period. It provides the knowledge about the web of intersection and interrelationship among the various population as well as between the population and the aquatic environment. It gives the information about the available initial minerals and their recycling periods. It provides the knowledge about the web of information and interrelationship among the various populations and well as well between the populations and the aquatic environments. It helps human beings to know about the conservation of resources, protection from the pollution and input required for the maximizing the productivity maximizing productivity. It is the help human beings to know about the conservation of resources, protection from the pollutions and inputs required for the maximizing the productivity. In the ecosystem, two processes of the energy flow and biochem biochemical cycles. So nutrients movements proceed sides by side. The energy flow in the unidirectional while the movements of the nutrients is cyclic. In the ecosystem, two processes of the energy flow and by bio biochemical cycle nutrients movements proceed the side by side. The energy flow in the unidirectional while the movements of nutrients is cyclic. Food chain, food web, tropic level, flow of energy, 10% load reflections of the ozone layer. So biological magnification, mode of waste disposals. The food chain, food web, tropic level, flow of energy, 10% low reflections of the ozone layer, biological magnifications, mode of waste disposals. The food chain. Food chain, the sequence of living organisms in a community in which one organism consume another organism to transfer food energy is called the food chain. Do you understand? The food chain, the sequence of living organisms in a community in which one of organism consumes another organism to transfer food energy is called a food chain. A food chain is under directions where transfer of energy take place in the only one direction, or food chain is a sequence of presence while the represent who eats whom. Which food chain is the process which requirement who eats whom, or food chain refer to an organism arguments of the different biotic group in a square of the energy transfer sequence of energy transfer. These biotic group are producer, herbivorous and carnivores. For the example, as T1 is a grass and T2 is deer and T3 is loin. So example of food chain, simple food chain operating in a grassland or forest. So first one is a grass is called the producer, deer is herbivores and loin is carnivores. In this food chain, grass represent the producer, first tropical level. First tropical level in this food chain, grass represent the producer. So first tropical levels, grass synthesize their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Grass is eaten by deer, which represent the herbivores or the primary consumer. Deer in turn is the consumed by loin, the carnivores or the secondary consumers. A food chain is the grassland which has four steps. Is first one is a grass, it's called a producer, insect, herbivores, frog, carnivores, and eagle, secondary consumer. The significance of the food chain. Significance of food chain. The study of the food chain help in the understanding food relationships and the intersection among the various organisms in an ecosystem. The food chain transfer energy and the materials between various living components of an ecosystem. The study of food chain help in the understanding food relationship and the intersection among the various organisms in a ecosystem. The food chains transfer energy and the materials between various living components of an ecosystem. The food chains transfer energy and materials between various living components in an ecosystem or biosphere. The food chain give dynamicity to an the ecosystem or the biosphere. The biosphere, the food chain transfer energy and materials between the various living components in one ecosystem or biosphere. The food chain give the dynamic to and the ecosystem or the biosphere. The food chain give the dynamicity to end the ecosystem or biosphere. The movement of toxic substance like pesticides, herbicides, etc. through the food chain can prove very harmful. The food chain give dynamicity to end the ecosystem or the biosphere. The movement of toxic substance like pesticides, herbicides, etc. through the food chain can prove very harmful. Student, let's start for the food web. The interconnected food chain operating in the ecosystem which the established is the network of relationship between the various species are called a food web. Food web, the interconnected food chain operating in an the ecosystem which the established as a network of relationship between various species are called a food web. In a food web, one organism may be occupy a position in more than one food chain, and the organism can obtain its the food from the different sources and in turn may be the eaten up by different type of organism. In a food web, one organism may occupy a position in more than one food chain and organism can obtain its the food from different sources and in turn may be eaten up by the different type of organism. Look at this picture as a food web, different types of the organism and one by one and continue the chain. Tropical level, the various step in the food chain at which the transfer of food or energy. Tropical label, the various step in the food chain at the which the transfer of food or energy takes place is called as a tropical label. Take place is called as a tropical label. So the various step in the food chain at the which is the transfer of energy, so take place is called as a tropical label. There is the gradual the decrease in the amount of energy transfer from one to tropical level to next tropical level in a food chain. There is a gradual decreasing in the amount of energy transfer from one tropical level to the next tropical level in a food chain. So this is a energy depends. First one, let me start for the tropical level and energy low. So producer, primary consumer and secondary consumer, and terrestrial consumer, a territory consumer. So this is the first one, producer is 100 kilojoule energy, next one is a, sorry, 1000 kilojoule energy, and next one is a 100 kilojoule, and next step is 10 kg, and last one is a 1 kg. Transfer to tropical level for the energy level is a decrease. So only the 10% of energy is transferred to next tropical level, while the 90% of the energy is used by the present tropical level in this life process. The various tropical level are given below. The plants or the producer constitute the first tropical level. The herbivorous or primary consumers from the second tropical level, the carnivore or the secondary consumer make up the third tropic level. So large carnivores or the territorial consumers, while the feed upon the small carnivores constitute the fourth tropical level. So dear student, today's topic is complete for the part third, and next topic we start the part fourth. So I send you the PDF file for the homework. So complete your work and send me. Thank you.